Yeah, it was pretty cool to see. And now, with that win, we do see BTG preparing for game number 2. SPT, they need to refocus, need to refine their momentum. Because remember, they are really close behind BTG.
Yep.
If they win this, then they are once again 1 point behind. Actually, no, they'll actually be ahead of BTG, I think, if they win this.
If they win this, it's going to be a 1-1, not changing anything. So I think they're still going to be behind.
Sorry, my mind break there. Mind blank.
But you're right. If they had taken a 3-pointer, they would have definitely overtaken them. That's for sure. That's for sure. By the way, that statistics that I was talking about, I think isn't even experience. That must be siege damage then, because the only statistics that SPT could have overtaken BTG there was not experience, because that would have meant they had a higher end level, so that's impossible. So it must be siege damage. So we were wrong the entire time, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, now we know.
We learn.
We learn. So yes, as we prepare, here is Diablo being locked in by as SPT as the ban. And there goes Maya. Very standard stuff. No need to ban out Hanzo. Sorry, there was a need to ban out Hanzo, which means Genji is allowed through. That is weird, prioritizing Hanzo over Genji. I guess it is a really good dancing hero. So, alright, it's acceptable, but they seem happy with that. They seem happy that Genji's insta-locked.
Guess who's made it through? It's Irel. So Loktar yet again has the chance to go for his baby girl. And yeah, SPT, you know, insta-locking the Genji is nice and all, but it's not like Genji is this automatic key factor to give you those wins, right? Win percentage you see here is a dead 50%.
That it is.
Straight on.
Cool to see. And here is
Genji perfectly balanced, question mark?
Genji perfectly balanced. So bringing in the Alexstrasza very early over Deckard Cain. I'm starting to get concerned about Druid again.
Yep. Deckard Cain, I'm not sure if SPT is actually paying attention or was paying attention to the early series. There we go, Deckard Cain. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to predict this at this point. But yeah, as you said, BTG is running into the same habit of drafting the Alexstrasza into a Deckard Cain. Well, at least they had to presume it was taken. Can they play it more crisply this time around, or are they going to get bullied yet again with those Emerald Cubes? Sergeant Hammer denied. They could have taken it themselves. Looks like they don't want to.
We're going to find out.
Oh, there we go.
Banned out as well. I think this could be a 1-1. BTG are getting... Their strategies are becoming revealed here. Although, it is Blaze this time, so Leoric would not be terrible again from Loktar. I just would not mind him sticking with
it. Was also last time though, right? We said the exact same thing. We said Leoric is good into the Blaze lineup, so...
Yeah, maybe not the Kael'thas this time. That might be the way around it.
I agree.
Pick something that doesn't require too much peeling. A Thrall coming in here.
Okay.
That could be a Loktar hero. If not, you can still stick that as your second damage. Doesn't need as much peeling, so that could work out well.
Yep. Actually has great, amazing synergy if the Earthquake is being pulled in, and then Raynor will basically deal terrible damage onto the enemy team with that ace in the hole. But yeah, so here's the interesting storyline between SPT in this game and the one in the other game. Can SPT pull it even? Can they repeat the success of the one with a very similar team composition? Or has BTG learned to adapt? And in that case, if Beyond the Game wins this very convincingly, I think my hopes have been restored, because that means they can adapt and learn from their mistakes earlier.
So they need a final pick. Kael'thas on the other side this time.
20% win ratio. I mean, he hasn't really been played that often, but when he's picked, he doesn't seem to do well.
Zarya, okay. LLK giving us a little bit of variance once again. No, apparently that's not 619 playing the Zarya. That is a lie. They're probably going to swap last second.
I think so too.
If not, then cool. We'll see how that works for him. That's certainly adjusting.
That would just make LLK the most flexible player, hands down. Being able of, being capable of playing melee assassins like Alrek, main tanks like Gosh, and ranged assassins. That would be nuts.
It would be interesting, but we will have to see. So Zarya, decent protection. Potential zoning capabilities, which is nice. Extra peeling. Not that vulnerable to Kael'thas overall. So
yeah,
Not the worst idea here. Definitely siege damage, poke damage from range, while still only giving them some good front lining. Protection for Thrall, which means empowerment for Thrall always. It's not a bad idea.
I think it's quite the opposite, actually. She's amazing against Kael'thas. If, you know, you apply your shields on the right target, the living bombs, the flame strike, that's all damage that can't be stopped, right? Once you're casting those abilities, you're committed to it. There's no way for Kael'thas to manually reassign a target or switch targets. So Zarya, if played diligently, could also have a great time, you know, stacking and ramping up the energy. Then, of course, I'm really excited to see which rogue ability we're going to see of Zarya. Is it still going to be the Expulsion Zone, or is it going to be the newly revamped and buffed Graviton Surge? Lower cooldown makes this ability much more attractive these days. What do you think?
It could be. The Graviton Surge is good. There's potential wombos for it, but Expulsion Zone is just so good at area control. We will be finding out as we are heading into game number 2. And on the left-hand side, it is Super Perfect Team with Lucky, Melody C, Misaka, Soap, and ZZH.
Facing them is our current #1 spot in China with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Locktar. And together, they form the band of Beyond the Game. Now, can they close out the series? Once again, they're with a 1-0 lead. Are they going to suffer a defeat, though, like against the One, or are they going to be able to bring it home? Zarya going for the Demolitions Expert, relying on long-distance poke with heavy-hitting grenades.
We're going to see the poke immediately starting from Zarya, wants to try and gain stacks. Locktar sticking with his lightning. And yeah, we do see LLK on that Garrosh. So they are varying it up here. 619 moves forward, actually moving into range to eat that living bomb spread. So he gets max energy here. LLK will fall on this Garrosh. And that Zarya damage, not enough. Big damage onto Melody C. Bomb from Zarya gets the kill. But 619 won't drop as well. Gets out on next to no hell.
Zarya walks away, flexing her muscles, and lives another day. The powerhouse from Russia is pretty hard to kill, it seems sometimes. But that was actually a little bit of luck there involved as well. So 1-1 trade in terms of kills, making this quite the explosive one already. And what's pretty cool to see here as well is that Lucky on the Kael'thas is running out of mana. So either he teleports back immediately, takes a healing fountain, or just relies on orbs, healing globes without using too many of his abilities. Let's see what he decides to go for. It looks like he's probably going to splurge all his mana into that Merc camp and then teleport back to base.
Very sensible. Being able to burn through that very quickly. Melody C, we'll see this happening. His team's going to be probably a little bit too slow to raid this. He's actually going to try and delay. Yep, time your laser. Don't let him get the deflex. Very nicely done by 619. Toss. Melody C dashes away.
Close call there by Melody C, but the mechanical prowess on a player like this can never be underestimated. You actually mentioned the interaction here between the two Overwatch heroes, Zarya and Genji. Zarya with her quickly ticking auto attack needs to be super careful not to trigger the deflect all the time, giving Genji huge amounts of damage. Similar to a Tracer or a Tychus who have similar auto attacks. You need to really be on your tippy toes. 619 stepping on the platform.
Holding it together. Here comes Alexstrasza healing from over the wall in that Dragon Queen, and that will force back SPT. Living Bomb is spreading effectively, but energy on Zarya is high. The Thrall flag is good. Where is that Feral Spirit? Melody C dashes through, and the Feral Spirit is dodged.
Yeah, and already you can see how much protection value there is if Beyond the Game pulls all their triggers at the same time. With those shields by Zarya, with that Dragon Queen. Speaking of which though, Tetcher, it was used early to secure this mercenary camp. That means for SPT, they wanted to fight over this Infernal Shrine. No Dragon Queen value available.
Yeah, this is true. They're going to have to just try and delay this for if they want to use the Dragon Queen. And all of that over a single Impaler camp as well. You have to question whether that is worth. As we do see SPT trying to take up position. Quick stack gained by Misaka straight away.
If I'm at Beyond the Game here at this point, I probably wouldn't even try to fight over this Infernal Shrine because without that Dragon Queen, the enemy team can afford to play much more aggressively, much more offensively. So what I would have done here is maybe focus on the middle, focus on the bottom with the mercenary camp that you just unlocked, and maybe get some structural value there. But it looks like Beyond the Game is sticking to the more Chinese route of brawling and fighting over objectives.
Yeah.
And as long as Locktar maintains a good position here on that throw. I think he's going to be able to actually clear a lot of those skeleton minions super early. Good groundbreaker, though.
Yeah, LOK with some great setup. Locktar has Living Bomb applied, though. Good knockup from Kael'thas. He gets taken out, but so does Blaze. 1 for 1. LOK dropping low, but Druid, it's only a matter of time. This is a race against time, in fact, for SPT to win before this Dragon Queen comes back. Garrosh in danger, gets a shield from Zarya, which is good. Zarya's got so much energy. Wrecks through Misaka as LOK tanks through. Melody C forced off the void. And Lucky and ZZH, you don't want to be here. ZZH is the first target. Lucky is the second. Both go down.
Raynor with a drive-by shooting here, securing all those kills. Wonderfully done for Beyond the Game. Not only will they secure themselves the Frozen Punisher, but also a super sick experience lead here. Really well done. And guess what, Tetcher? You thought Tacitor shields and Tyrael shields were good on Garrosh? Think about Zarya. When Garrosh is brought down low and he has a lot of armor in his repertoire, those Zarya shields are going to take extra long to either break, and then also, which means they're going to be active for longer, as Zarya's going to get more energy more consistently. That was a confident one.
It was very aggressive, tossing your ranged assassin forward like that. Here comes Blaze, looking to capitalize on it. Genji forward as well. Merly C with some great micro here, but Dancing is tanking through it.
And speaking of people in trouble now, Soap in no man's land. He's going to get dunked on by Zarya's grenade. That was an ambitious move by Raynor. Almost cost his life.
And now Locktar. He did actually miss a Feral Spirit again, so he's lost all his stacks again. Unless he'd already completed it, then missed it.
I don't think he did, to be honest. So yeah, the Wolfies have to try again. Locktar now, speaking of which, in trouble. 3-man versus 0, tries to keep the minions there as well, so he dodges the Stormbolt. But, you know, buying a little bit of time here. Are they actually going to get this mercenary camp? Let's see. Yep, they do.
Good control being gained here by BTG. We were concerned about their flexibility, and right now this composition is working very, very well for them. As they keep control of the map, that Fallen Shaman camp is continuing to push up. It will die because it is proxied, so there's no minions to assist it. So it won't get a max value, but it's still going to get some good damage. Check it on 15 stacks.
There we go. So he will reduce the armor of all targets hit by his E after completing that first level 1 quest. Oh, LK decides, you know what? You think you can ambush me? I'm going to show you what happens to dwarves that try to do that. Now, it looks like there's always a little bit of a battle raging on for those mercenaries. Especially SPT seems to consider those very highly and invades very, very aggressively. 619, though, has grenades, and not only are grenades good for dealing damage and stuff, but they can also be used as a scouting tool, right? You drop a grenade into a bush, and you will have a much better time actually scouting out potential ambushes.
Exactly. The low cooldown of that really leans towards that scouting capability. Anyone with that kind of ability may do so. And Zarya is no exception. LK pulls back. Quick stun up onto Misaka. Still just a little bit of harassment at this point. As level 10 creeps in for BTG, could we in fact see that Graviton Surge coming in? Dancing, he takes some pressure. Quick heal already. And a heal applied, and a good Gravity Lapse, using that max range Netherwind as well to pick up a kill by SPT.
SPT, man. Although not really looking too well in the earliest stages of the game, they find the openings. They find some cracks in the defenses of Beyond the Game. First with a kill on Thrall, now with a kill against Raynor. And if they keep those deaths up, man, if they keep the rhythm of Beyond the Game broken at least a little bit, they can definitely stabilize. They have in fact done so already. Level 10 is here. So much survivability now with that X-Strike, with the bunker as well. Cheeky sidestep by LLK here, and they do indeed go for that expulsion zone. So no wombo combo with the Graviton Surge, instead going for zoning.
We see Zarya beginning to scout. Doesn't see ZZH, but they're still going to try and move in. Zarya in fact completes her Q.
Yep.
So nice. She has Demolitions Expert done.
Now we have a longer radius, or a bigger radius for those grenades, and more importantly, a cooldown reduction, which comes in mighty handily with that level 7 talent, the pinpoint accuracy. So Zarya, if she has a lot of energy going her way, it's actually going to hit like a Russian truck.
Expulsion comes in. That is the level 10 as we see them moving forward. Taunt is used onto Genji, onto ZZH, sorry, the second Kane who gets taken out. Dragon Queen and Cleansing Flame both being dropped here, and BTG take full control 21 to 12 though. SPT, they might be able to snipe enough here. They're still trying to sneak a couple away.
Yeah, it's very important for Beyond the Game to actually keep Kalphas at bay, because cheeky flame strikes could always mean a couple of additional skeletons. And that's exactly why LK was scouting to the left. That's why Alex Struss is scouting to the bottom. And also what I think Beyond the Game should consider here is actually pulling all the skeletons more to the right-hand side. So, never mind. Forget all that theory crafting. Kalphas was not brave enough, and rightfully so. He probably shouldn't have even tried. So, the Mortar Punisher is now marching towards the base of SPT. LLK trying to find those openings while we have a short PP pause.
And, well, BTG, they're looking in control once again. This is really nice to see. I was unsure, but the role works very well for Loktar. It's definitely closer to his original role. So, yeah, I am digging this BTG style, bringing out the Zarya unexpectedly. And I was sure it was going to be LLK playing it, but it turns out 619's got some pretty good skill shots.
Man, I mean, first of all, kudos to 619, you know, stepping it up and, you know, shying away from his main role there, but also major props and big ups to LLK. Main tank, in my opinion, is one of the harder roles to just master on the fly, right? One does not simply casually swap over to the main tank role, but LLK makes it look like a piece of cake.
Tornado comes in and does not do much as they begin to move back in. Good damage onto Misaka. This is more of a focus on killing off the first fort of the game than really getting any more kills, but if they find someone out of position, they will absolutely do it.
LLK trying to find that opening. We see 619 on the Zarya maintaining a very healthy energy count. 3/4 in here, so she's going to hit like a truck, as we said. And now they're basically content and happy with what they achieved. More permanent damage done on the map here against SPT. Loktar, by the way, also doing an admirable job on that thrall, and that is the beauty of that team composition that Beyond the Game has here. All the players are so flexible in terms of roles. Loktar, don't forget about it, guys. He's a ranged assassin player by trade. He's going to feel right at home with thrall.
Exactly. So, as Brawl mostly is ranged these days, just spamming out like lightning after lightning.
Poking mage almost, yeah.
So then Misaka looks for Druid, doesn't even bother throwing out the Storm Bolt, sees the Duke was not where he was going to be aiming, and just lets it go.
Lets it go indeed. Melody C, though, trying to scout a little bit ahead. Only Murden and Decker Kane, though, to follow it up on, so I don't think there's enough burst really ready. They shouldn't even try to get this on the Zarya. Probably just a little bit of pokey-poke. Zarya immediately being reinforced by her teammates as well, dodging it, so I think they're just trying to keep their opponents busy and occupied so they can soak that level 13 in the top lane, in the middle lane, without much contested. The taunt is real, though, against Melody C. He overstayed his welcome there, and with combined efforts and the help of the taunt, Beyond the Game just blows him to pieces.
Yeah, and the burst damage that they have is far more than I expected with just Reyna. I did not think that would be enough, but it turns out Reyna, Zarya, Thrall combined, easy enough to take down a Genji during the time of taunt takes.
Okay, Zarya using her shields to actually absorb those 4 shots and bring up her energy count. Really cool to see that one. Expulsion zone, there's a Sundering as well, just in case.
See Misaka dropping low. Tornado is solid. Loktar in danger, gets the shield, gets into the fray though. LLK with the save. Bunker has to be dropped, but Cleansing Flame wrecks it as Misaka is dying to the Hyperion. Soap is barely surviving, finally sniped away by 619. And now will Melody C meet the same fate? X strikes to try and escape. Dancing chases him down. Instead, moves on to Misaka, the nearer target. Burns through that health pool. Genji tries to pick up anything, but now he's on the run.
He's on the run, and Thrall is very fast, empowered by the Wind Fury. Lands the Wolf this time around. Really cool to see, and there's nowhere left to go for Melody C. He ends up dropping as well. 3-0 trade for BTG. Tetcher, this is the old Beyond the Game, showing no signs of weaknesses whatsoever that we know and love. And right now, to me, it looks like, as you said, either the one is just the far better team, or Beyond the Game just had a fluke. You know, they just analyzed their games, realized, you know what, Kalpha's not the best choice. We're just going to go for something more stable. Thrall and Zarya. This is such a hard comp to kill, actually, for SPT, if you think about it.
Yeah, the Kalphas itself maybe is the issue, as once again, it is struggling on this map, really not able to execute it as effectively, at least yet. Maybe gives the team some time to get more used to it. SPT position moving forward. Good damage into the fray. Once again, Loktar survives as in comes 619. More grenades.
Once again, the Dragon Queen just being used before they were even fighting over the altar. Sorry, over the shrine, which is something highly uncommon and oftentimes very punishing as well for the team that uses the Dragon Queen. But so far beyond the game, wasn't really punished too much by SPT. And also, I really like the adaptation here. Remember what we said about Alex Brasa in Game 2 when they faced the 1? The healing reduction by Taker Kane makes her so vulnerable. So how are they trying to counter that? With the shields by Zarya. And more than once did we actually see Zarya protect and save someone that was affected by the Emerald Cube.
Well, she's been doing a fantastic job with it. You can't complain about this. But SPT, they are once again using their meta knowledge to their advantage. Just going to try and get anything while BTG grab this Punisher. They do all have to pull back to base though, because, well, this is going to be a 16 push in with this Punisher. But with that 4, they were able to gain in the mid lane. They are now closer to 16 themselves. 1 kill, 1 overextension of BTG, and SPT could be right back in.
Look at the 16 adaptation coming in from Thrall here as well. The Alpha Wolf now deployed against high HP targets. If that Feral Spirit lands, Thrall's auto attacks are going to inflict a little bit of percentage damage. Definitely a cool variation to see. Now, stun onto Genji and he gets exploded, but the KT damage is real this time.
Loktar barely surviving in the backline, gets the Cleansing Flame as they move forward. Misaka's Dwarf Toss gets interrupted, has to Avatar. The keep will certainly fall here with Genji down. BTG a person advantage. They might try and push further with half health left for this Immortal. They move forward. Misaka with a good double stun, delaying, but he gets punished and takes huge damage even with Stone Form. He will survive. Loktar also again drop low, but gets a good through, helping his team from range and is able to pick up another kill.
There goes another kill, and the core is already being damaged by that big, mean killing machine that they've got going on here. The Purple Puncher, the Arcane one, already brought down the shield. KT now getting flung into the backline. Has to use the Mana Dick to stay alive. Genji's back. Threatening dancing. Can they hold up the pressure? BTG on the core.
With an expulsion zone, giving 619 all the freedom he needs. Everyone is pretty healthy as they take down the core. BTG with the 2-0. They will take the solid 3 points, so a little bit of redemption after this morning, and they will move themselves a big lead at the top of the table.
All right, BTG, that was the 3-point victory they were looking for. After showing an unusual sign of weakness earlier against the 1, they came back in glorious fashion, Tetcher. And as you said, they expand their lead now onto one of their most fierce rivals by a large amount. That was the best scenario outcome for them. Game number 2, SPT looked a lot more shaky than in game 1.
Yes, they did. It was a little bit closer in game number 1. Game number 2 was full control and all about it. So once again, SPT still pretty high up on the table. They sit at a solid 11 points now, but with that victory beyond the game, they now have 16 points. They are very far ahead, and that was to even up the amount of on even amounts of games played. SPT, the next closest team to them, are still so far behind.
Yeah. And I'm so, like, it sounds mean, right? I sound like a BTG fanboy for saying this, but all I care, Tetcher, and viewers out there, is the well-being of China as a region. And I think for China to show up at BlizzCon potentially is to have a dominant team. They need a team to dominate their straight-up rivals like CE. BG's done that. SPT, they've done that now. The 1, not quite done that, partially. And I think they need this dominant team to really stand a chance against Korean teams, European teams, and NA teams at the next big international